It was a chilly afternoon in New York City when Mia, a single mother of two, walked through the busy streets of Manhattan, clutching a worn-out handbag. Her children, Emily and Jacob, walked beside her, their eyes fixed on the ground. She could see the frustration on their faces, having to move from one shelter to the next, living a life full of uncertainty and missing out on the things other kids took for granted. Mia had always tried to keep her spirits up, but today her heart felt heavier than usual. The thought of another sleepless night in a cramped apartment with only the sound of traffic and sirens outside was almost unbearable. As she walked past a luxurious boutique, she couldn't help but glance at the display windows, filled with the finest designer clothing, shoes, and accessories. She knew that a life like that, where money wasn't a constant worry, was a dream far beyond her reach. Still, she couldn't help but imagine how different things could be if she didn't have to struggle every day just to make ends meet. Suddenly, her phone buzzed in her pocket. It was a reminder. Another bill had come due. She sighed, scrolling through the message and silently cursing her luck. She had been working long hours at a local diner, but it never seemed to be enough to catch up. Her mind raced with worries about the future. Would her kids ever have a better life? Would they always struggle like she had? Just as Mia was about to slip the phone back into her bag, she heard a voice behind her. "Excuse me, miss." Mia turned around, startled. A well-dressed woman stood in front of her, her posture confident yet kind. The woman's gaze was gentle, and despite her glamorous appearance, there was something approachable about her. It was then that Mia realized who the woman was. It was Melania Trump. The former First Lady of the United States, known for her grace and philanthropy, was standing just a few feet away from her. Mia's heart skipped a beat. What was she doing here? "Is everything all right?" Melania asked, her voice soft but filled with genuine concern. Mia blinked, still in shock. I, I'm fine, thank you. Just, just trying to get through the day." Melania studied her for a moment before speaking again. "I can see that life hasn't been kind to you. Can I help in any way?" Mia was speechless. What could Melania Trump possibly offer someone like her? But before she could say anything, Melania smiled warmly and said, "I've been in your shoes before. Let me take you to lunch. We'll talk." Mia had never imagined herself sitting across from Melania Trump in a cozy upscale cafe. Yet here she was, her hands trembling slightly as she sipped her coffee. Melania had insisted on treating her to lunch, and Mia, though overwhelmed, had gratefully accepted the offer. As they sat together, the conversation flowed easily. Melania listened intently as Mia shared her struggles, how she had left an abusive relationship, how she juggled multiple jobs to take care of her children, and how every day felt like a fight to stay afloat. "I know how hard it can be to feel like the world is against you," Melania said quietly, her eyes empathetic. "But you are strong. You are doing more than most people realize." Mia looked down at her plate, feeling a lump in her throat. "I don't feel strong," she admitted. "I feel like I'm failing my kids. I want to give them a better life, but I don't know how." Melania's expression softened. "You're already doing more than enough by being there for them," she said. "But I know you can do more. You just need someone to believe in you." The words were simple, yet they struck Mia deeply. She had always felt alone, like no one cared. But here was someone who had every reason to look down on her, offering nothing but kindness and understanding. "You have something special in you, Mia," Melania continued. "You just need a little push in the right direction. I want to help you." Mia's eyes widened. "Help me? How?" Melania smiled. "Let me show you the opportunities that are out there. Let me introduce you to the right people who can make a real difference." Mia felt a sense of hope begin to blossom within her, something she hadn't felt in a long time. Could it be possible? Could someone like her really get a break? The following week, Mia found herself sitting in a sleek, modern office building, nervously shifting in her seat. Melania had arranged for her to meet with a group of powerful businesswomen who were involved in charity work and community outreach. To Mia's astonishment, the women welcomed her with open arms, eager to hear her story. Melania had personally vouched for her, telling the women how strong and determined Mia was. The businesswomen were so moved by Mia's story that they immediately offered her a job, an entry-level position at a nonprofit organization focused on helping single mothers like herself. It wasn't a fortune, but it was enough to get her on her feet, and for the first time in months, Mia felt like she had a real opportunity to turn her life around. "I knew you could do it," Melania told her as they left the meeting. "This is just the beginning, Mia. You have a future ahead of you." Mia could hardly believe it. She was still in shock, but her heart was full of gratitude. "I don't know how to thank you," she whispered. Melania looked at her kindly. "You don't need to thank me. Just promise me that you'll believe in yourself, no matter what." Over the next few months, Mia threw herself into her new job. She worked hard, learning everything she could and proving herself to be a valuable member of the team. The job wasn't easy, but it was something she had never imagined possible. Slowly but surely, her financial situation began to improve, and she was able to secure a small apartment for her and her children. Her children, Emily and Jacob, could finally attend school without the constant worry of being displaced. Mia's confidence grew, and she began to feel like she was in control of her life again. But even as Mia's life started to stabilize, she never forgot what Melania had done for her. She had given Mia a chance when no one else had. She had believed in her when Mia couldn't believe in herself. One day, Mia received a message from Melania. "How are you doing? I'm so proud of you." Mia smiled as she typed back, "I'm doing well. I couldn't have done it without you." Months passed, and Mia's life had changed beyond recognition. She had settled into her new apartment, her children were excelling in school, and her job at the nonprofit organization had given her the stability she so desperately needed. The memories of the hardships she once faced seemed distant, replaced with a newfound sense of purpose. One evening, Mia received an invitation to a prestigious fundraising event, hosted by the businesswomen who had first believed in her. It was an elegant affair, filled with high-profile donors, philanthropists, and socialites. As Mia entered the grand ballroom, she was awestruck by the luxurious surroundings, the sparkling chandeliers, and the well-dressed guests. But it wasn't the opulence that caught her attention. It was the way she felt. She had come from nothing, from a place of desperation and fear, and now she was standing here, a woman transformed. She wore a simple yet elegant outfit, one that reflected the humility and strength she had gained over the past few months. As she scanned the room, she spotted Melania across the floor. Melania was talking to a group of people, but as soon as she saw Mia, she broke away and made her way toward her. "Look at you," Melania said, her voice filled with pride. "You're glowing. I knew you could do it." Mia felt a lump form in her throat as she looked into Melania's eyes. "I couldn't have done it without you. You gave me the chance when no one else did." Melania smiled warmly, her expression soft. "No, Mia, you did the hard work. I just helped open the door." Mia's eyes filled with tears. She had been given so much: hope, support, and most importantly, belief. And now, standing in this room, surrounded by successful people who had all contributed to her growth, Mia realized how powerful kindness could be. It wasn't just the grand gestures that made a difference. It was the small, everyday acts of compassion that changed lives. Melania had shown her that one person's belief in another could ignite a transformation. In that moment, Mia made a silent vow to herself. She would not just take the opportunities she had been given, but she would also create opportunities for others. Her heart swelled with gratitude as she imagined how she could give back to the community that had once felt so out of reach. The ripple effect of kindness had come full circle. "I'm going to make sure I pass this on," Mia said, her voice steady but filled with emotion. Melania nodded. "I know you will. You're already doing it, Mia." Years had passed since Mia's life had taken a dramatic turn for the better, but she hadn't forgotten where she came from. She had continued working tirelessly at the nonprofit, quickly rising through the ranks. As she gained more influence, she became a fierce advocate for single mothers, helping them find resources, employment opportunities, and a sense of hope, just as Melania had done for her. One day, Mia was invited to speak at a national conference on empowering women. She was scheduled to give a keynote address, something she never would have imagined just a few years ago. As she prepared backstage, she reflected on how far she had come. From a woman who had felt defeated and lost, she had become a beacon of hope for others. and she knew that none of this would have been possible without the small but significant act of kindness that Melania had shown her. As Mia stood behind the curtain, waiting for her cue to go on stage, her phone buzzed. She pulled it from her pocket and saw that it was a message from Melania. "I'm so proud of you, Mia. Keep doing what you're doing. You're making a difference." Mia's heart swelled. She had no words. She had tried to thank Melania countless times, but it never felt like enough. Melania had changed her life in ways she could never fully express. But now, standing on the verge of addressing an audience of thousands, Mia understood that the best way to show her gratitude was to continue living with the same generosity of spirit that Melania had shown her. Mia walked onto the stage with confidence, the applause of the audience ringing in her ears. She wasn't just speaking about her own transformation. She was speaking for every woman who had ever felt overlooked or undervalued. She was speaking for every single mother who had fought tirelessly to give her children a better life. As Mia began her speech, she felt the weight of the responsibility on her shoulders. But this time, it wasn't a burden, it was a privilege. She had made it full circle. The woman who had once felt invisible was now giving others the chance to be seen. "I'm here today," Mia said into the microphone, "because someone believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And now, I want to be that person for others." The crowd erupted into applause. Mia smiled, knowing that her journey was far from over. She would continue to pay it forward, to inspire others, and to spread the message that kindness, no matter how small, could change the world. As she left the stage, her phone buzzed again. Another message from Melania. "Keep going, Mia. You're doing amazing things." Mia's eyes glistened with tears. She had come full circle, and she was more determined than ever to keep the cycle of kindness going.